So how did I start working for the GM Golf YouTube channel, working for Garrett Clark, filming and editing all of his videos? It's a long story. I'm gonna tell you in this video, but first, one second. You guys ready to play some golf?
We're playing with the Pointer Brothers today, and we're gonna dress up like them.
We're gonna make fun of them. One of their skits that they do is gonna be so funny.
Cool. So instead of just sitting down and telling you how I started filming for Garrett, I figured I would play some golf and tell you as I go. Basically force you to watch me play some golf. But we're out here at Black Desert. This course is so pure, so fun. So enjoy some kind of ASMR golf while I tell you this story of how I got here. So as early as I can remember, I've kind of always had an interest with two things, balls and cameras. And both of those kind of started with my dad. Both of those my dad kind of had an influential start in. From an early age, I had a club in my hand, I had a basketball in my hand, and then also he would kind of go around and film stuff on a little camcorder. I remember being so intrigued by that, and with the art of like capturing things, I would go to basketball games and capture things on my iPod, or try and take pictures. And I don't know, I was always just intrigued with the idea of video. Before like junior high, it was always sports. Sports was always kind of the main thing that I was interested in. It was the main thing that I was spending my time doing. And I would say it wasn't until freshman, sophomore year of high school that I really took an interest to the more editing side of things. And that started when a high school basketball coach of mine found out he ran an Instagram page, like a sports Instagram page. I thought that was the coolest thing. He had a bunch of followers and he would just post sports edits to this page and people would follow it. Also, my ball went in the bunker. That's gonna be the hardest part with today, is trying to figure out like where to hit things, because I hit that right where I wanted and I'm in a bunker. So I guess I should have gone more left. Little bogey there, we're fine with that. Bogey on the first, hit a little left out of the bunker, we're fine. But as I was saying, in high school, that's when I really started to take a liking to more of the editing side of things. I started my own basketball Instagram page. It was called Dunks Mixes, where I would, come up with cool concepts, fun ideas of like basketball videos and would post them. I feel like that's when I really started to develop a love for creating. Going back to the whole balls thing, played sports all throughout my high school career, played basketball up until my junior year, and when I decided to quit basketball my junior year, I remember my coach saying one thing. He said, if you quit, make sure you use that time. Basically, don't waste your time with the time you're gonna get back from not playing basketball. I knew I liked editing. Now I wanted to try filming. My dad had got me a Canon 80D camera the Christmas prior to the basketball season starting that I obviously wasn't playing in. There was that, and I was a part of this program called Kids Helping Kids in high school. So between basketball and Kids Helping Kids, my senior year, I was either at a basketball game filming and at home editing the little like recap video that I would make from that, or I was making a promotional video for Kids Helping Kids or artist announcements, a bunch of different videos that they needed for the program. Before I continue, I'm gonna go hit this tee shot on hole number 2. I hope you're enjoying this. If you're new here, I'm kind of just starting this whole YouTube thing. So if you're new and you haven't subscribed, subscribe. All right, that's a par. Happy with a par. So was in high school filming for my high school basketball team, doing Kids Helping Kids. Through that, kind of got a lot more opportunities to do video stuff, whether it was for, a parent on the team. Both my parents were in real estate, so doing some real estate stuff. Had some friends getting married, just took every kind of video opportunity I could. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about how to make videos, how to gear and all that good stuff. So you're probably wondering, when does Garrett come into this picture and become a part of my story, I guess. I'm gonna play this sick part 3 and then I'm gonna tell you. So where does Garrett and this whole golf YouTube thing come into play? It's kind of towards the end of my high school, start of college career, I guess you could say. I DM'd Garrett and said, yo, like, sick video. He DM'd me back, and this was right when I was, you know, trying to get into filming and editing and doing a bunch of stuff. I mean, it was just when he was not even doing YouTube yet, but made a connection to him, kind of built a friendship, if you will, would send each other stuff back and forth, messages here and there. Once he started doing YouTube, and once he got to a point where he couldn't edit his own videos, I guess I was on the back of his mind, and hold on, let me get some water. Oh, I guess I was on the back of his mind in terms of like someone to reach out to edit. It started off with just a few videos here and there, and eventually I started to do more and more for him and kind of built that trust of like, okay, he's someone I can send a video to and I'll get it back and it'll be a good video. And eventually I met them. So I was living in Santa Barbara, California at the time, and they were doing a video in San Diego, and I said, you know, let me come out and watch. Colin and Max were the ones filming it. I wasn't even filming at the time. Came out just to watch, met them. I remember thinking how tall they are and how far they hit the ball. It was a match between Micah, Grant, and Garrett. A couple months later, I think, got a text and a phone call from Garrett and his manager saying, hey, we want you to come on full-time to film and edit for, you know, everything GM Golf related, which I obviously said yes to. Okay, well, a little bit of the wrong club there. 6-iron from 192, I guess, was not the right club because I went way right over into these rocks. So I'm just gonna put it here and say I'm hitting 4. So say yes to filming for Garrett. First trip I went on was a kind of impromptu trip to the Bahamas. This might have been before he asked me to come on full time. Maybe test me out as like a trial, but. Okay, future writer here editing. I'm gonna chime in about the actual correct dates that all of this happened because I feel like it's a vital part of the story and I kind of botched it in the video. I had it all written down on my phone and just left it. So gonna start out, September 28th, 2017 was the first time I DM'd Garrett. He didn't respond till like 9 months after that. A couple months after that, I edited his first video. It was a Brody Smith video, and I remember not charging him for that video, and my thought process behind that was he's gonna be way more likely to like and edit when it's free, as opposed to if I would have charged him, you know, $200-300 bucks, maybe he wouldn't have liked it as much. But I think that's a little tip, is don't charge the first time you're doing something, maybe, because they're way more likely to like it if it's free. So after that first video, August 12th, 2019, I edited for about 3 years after that before I actually got brought on full time. 2.5 years into that, I met them in San Diego. That was April 20th, 2021. Which I talked about. 6 months later after that, October 21st, 2021, I got invited to the Bahamas. It was my first time filming.
And then we got Ryder. He'll be helping behind the camera and stuff.
And it was not until 5 months after that that they called me to come on full time. This whole time I was still kind of editing, not just filming. So yeah. There's the dates. Hope that makes sense. The Bahamas was kind of my first real experience with filming golf, and I feel like with doing a new thing that you don't know, there's always a, you know, learning curve of like, where do I go? How do I film this? What's the best angles? What's the best gear for all of this? And since then, I think I've just gotten more and more used to filming and more dialed with it. The first time I was kind of, what the heck am I doing? Like, but now I feel good about what I do. So after that Bahamas trip, I guess I was, you know, good enough at filming that he asked me to come on full-time work for GM Golf, filming and editing the videos. It's kind of transformed into more of that. I feel like a lot more of my job is trying to come up with ideas, titles and thumbnails, and in that time I feel like I've learned a lot about YouTube, and the job is almost more knowing YouTube than like filming and editing. I feel like once I got the filming and editing down of like, okay, this is the gear, this is everything that I need to film most efficiently, it was, okay, now how do we come up with ideas that gets clicks and, you know, does well on YouTube. Short little drivable par 4 here. I think I go for it. Go. I mean, look at this. Are you kidding me? Okay, I got a special person on my channel to also talk about
Special guest.
how I started working for him. The one and only.
Whoa.
In your words, how do you remember me kind of reaching out to you and like, how did I start working for you?
So Ryder DM'd me, gosh, 2017? DM'd me basically like just saying he liked what I did. I looked at his page and saw like a drone video of him on the Santa Monica Pier in California, and I was like, oh, this guy does good stuff. So we started talking a little bit. At the time, I was kind of working with another editor that ultimately didn't really work out long term. So I hit up Ryder.
Was that Bradley or just you had
Bradley.
someone else?
Yeah, it was
okay.
Bradley.
Okay.
But like Ryder also kind of did some videos here and there while I was still working with another editor.
Did I edit the first video that you didn't edit on your channel, or did Bradley edit before
It was
me?
actually someone entirely different.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was neither of you guys.
Okay.
Ryder edited some content, and then eventually I got to a place where I didn't have an editor. I needed somebody full time, and so I hit up Ryder. He started working with me a lot at around the same time, or maybe a little bit after he had just done some stuff with Bro 5.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he did a lot of good stuff for Bro 5, which if you guys remember that, it was way back in the day with Brody Smith. You know, we had our group channel and Ryder did a lot of the editing for that channel. So I already knew he was really talented from that. Once Bro 5 was done, I was like, okay, I really need somebody. Ryder's my guy. We worked it out. We started editing some things, then we formed more of a long-term deal, and that's how everything kind of started. And that was probably more like 2020. Like 2019 to 2020 was like when we really got into it heavy.
Well, I met you in San Diego, and then a couple months after that, you invited me to the Bahamas.
Yep.
And then it was like 6 months after that that you and your manager at the time texted me or called me and was like, hey, we want you to come on full time.
Yeah.
Was the Bahamas thing like, this is cool because I've never actually like talked to Garrett about this, I feel like.
Yeah, no, this is the first time. I feel like it is, yeah.
Was that like a trial period for me, or like how did that?
No, I mean, the Bahamas trip was something we needed somebody who like had gear and
Yeah.
like had experience. And you had it both. Like I remember I asked you, like, do you have your own cameras? Do you have this, 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 and this? And you said, yes. Do you have experience here? Obviously. And you came and you did a really good job. I remember Brian, one of our investors at Good, was like, who took those photos of you guys? And it was on the water. The one photo where I was swinging, you took a photo from the front of me.
Yeah.
I remember that was a big thing, was you put like proactive effort on that trip to like take photos and do some extra things that we didn't necessarily ask you to do. And I thought that that was really cool. And I was like, okay, this could definitely work long term. And then that's when,
Okay.
yeah, I would say that was a big trip.
Do you remember before I even started editing, we FaceTimed. I remember I walked you through like, cause we were editing on the same like program, and we FaceTimed and I was like, taught you shortcuts and like downloaded you some plugins or something like.
Yeah, no, the first transitions I ever had, the plugins for the transitions, the zoom transition I remember, and then there was a glitch transition, and we talked on FaceTime about that. And then you told me Command Z, Shift Command B, some other ones that I still remember.
Do you remember me like editing your first video and not charging you for it?
Yeah, I do.
My philosophy was you're gonna be way more likely to like a video that I don't charge you for than I do. Like a free video is gonna be way better than
even
a
if
video that I charge you $200 for or whatever it would have been.
Even if it's like not that great, you're like, oh, at least I got it for free.
At least I got it for free, yeah.
Yeah, kind of remember that, yeah. Smart.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Back to past Ryder. This video is all over the place, but I feel very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing. It's as close to a dream job as I can get, I think, with videography and whatnot. And as much as I believe in luck, I'm also a believer in hard work. And I think when opportunity meets hard work, it's a recipe for a good thing. I think the time that I was spent kind of grinding, perfecting my craft, making these videos, you know, an opportunity came along and I took it, and not only did I take it, I feel like I made the most of it and, you know, provided value to someone that was in need of it and showed that I was capable of providing value at the end of the day is what you want to do. I feel like I kind of skipped over a lot of stuff about certain things. It's hard to play golf and do this. I thought this would be a good idea. I think it still is. I'm having fun. Thanks for watching, and enjoy watching the rest of my round of golf here at Black Desert. I think I might just end it here. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, subscribe. I'll make some other videos around golf and camera stuff, so if that's interesting to you, subscribe. See ya.